this week it's all coming back to the wine from South America.
That is very true. This
true.
was set up because of a bottle of wine that I purchased through a wine purchasing service.
Oh, that's that's good. It works out that way.
That tied together very well. So this was a premium bottle that in theory I got at a pretty good discount, but it's still expensive to us.
To us, that's right.
So we're going to kind of compare it a little bit, not only to other wines that we've had of this type, but also the one that we had previously. You can watch that other podcast. It was from earlier in the week at either on YouTube or at our website, AboutBeverages.com. But what I am laboring to say is we have a Malbec from Argentina. Let's give it a shot. I'm Andrew.
And I am Keith, and we are AboutBeverages.com, and the beverage that we are about tonight is the Tiano and Nareno Traversia 1908, but it is the 2013 vintage.
That is correct.
So
that is a mouthful.
Yeah, so we've looked up Traversia means sailing or passage, so I'm assuming this was some sort of voyage that happened in 1900 or commemories.
There is a giant boat
something that
on
happened
the label, as you can see.
in 1908. So, so we've found some different information. We believe for the most part this is either all Malbec or mostly Malbec with maybe some. There was another.
Some Cab Franc, I
Cab
believe.
Franc.
Yeah.
So, but it seems to be predominantly Malbec, at least from the research that we've done on a couple of different sites to try to learn out a little bit more about this particular bottle. So, and how did we come about having this particular bottle?
We came about this bottle for a few reasons. We had been talking for a while about wanting to try some more expensive wines, some pricier wines, to see if we could actually taste the dollars, I guess. Like I said, the money that we put out, like, that would be, I can see why people would pay more for that one as opposed to, say, a $10 or $15 Malbec that we may have had, like the one we had earlier in the week. Is it worth spending what you could spend on a bottle like this? Now, this bottle, which I ordered through winetext.com, no ads here. We didn't get paid for this. This is a service that I tried.
Right.
It is a Gary Vaynerchuk joint. It is one of his many things that he has his hands in.
He's always doing. He's very entrepreneurial.
He's always doing things. It is affiliated with his dad's wine shop, Wine Library TV. They're out of New Jersey. So every day you get a text. That text will say, hey, we've got this wine. It's normally at this price. It's an amazing value. Here's what we're going to charge you for it. The shipping is what I like about it. It's very reasonable. Anything under a case, under 12 bottles, is only $6 flat rate for shipping. And anything, if you order a case or up, it's free.
That's very good.
So that's very good for alcohol, period, or liquids of any kind, for the most part, from what I've found when I've bought other whiskeys or libations on the internet. So that was one of the things that first drew me to it, and it's also its simplicity. Literally in that text, you tell them how many bottles you want. If you want any, you just put 2, 1, whatever. 10,
but you've already set up an
100.
account.
You have set up an account. That's correct.
Yeah.
No, they just assume.
Yeah.
They guess your address.
Yeah.
No, you're correct. Yeah, you've set up an account.
But it's that easy once that's all done.
Yeah, once you've set up the account
scary.
on the website, it is very scary. And you just, however many, within usually about a minute, you get a response back that it is still available, that they haven't sold out. Great, we'll send them to you. The funny thing about this bottle, this is the only bottle I have received. Even though I've ordered,
you've got $10,000 worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting.
I have quite a few orders that I have placed, but since we are in Arizona, it is hot right now. They don't want to ship due to some insurance issues and that kind of thing. So they're basically holding these orders, and then they will ship them later on. This one accidentally made it out. And it's good and bad. Like I said, the bottle seems to be in fine shape. As the person that I talked to there, they've been very nice with their customer service in going through this whole process. And it's the most expensive bottle, so I'm glad it didn't have any issues.
Yeah, as far as we know. Although we did have full disclosure. Andrew had to put his wine opening talents on display because this is the piece that first came off.
Yeah.
This is the top 2/3 of the cork. And then this was remaining in there, but he was able to rescue it. He plucked it from the neck of that bottle.
Did.
And what's fun, like we were saying, it's not, the cork itself doesn't appear to be dry. It still has some flexibility to it, and there's just a minimal amount of wine on the bottom of it. So I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I mean, I guess it's corks being corks.
Yeah, I think that's what you chalk that up to for the most part. So let's get to the nitty gritty here. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and start pouring that. We're going to try this. I do want to get it out of the way. So this bottle, what we paid for it through Wine Text was $50. From what they advertised it at, and from when I have done research on the internet.
We've used the Vivino app.
Correct.
I'm not sure where. I can't remember. There's another place you went to.
There was wine.com. Okay. There was a few other ones. You can't really find this bottle of wine anymore, and is one, so that's probably why it's a little more expensive.
Right.
I have not found it cheaper than $200.
Okay.
And most of them usually say the average price that people paid for it was anywhere from $250 to $280.
$285, yeah. What did they say that they thought this was worth?
That was what they said.
Yeah. Check? Okay.
Yeah, that was what
200.
Yeah, they'll usually in the text is usually a lot of really good not usually. There's always a lot of good information. Usually a couple links either to a video that they've done through Instagram or whatnot, and then sometimes links to the vineyard or whatever else they want to let you know about it. They will tell you, hey, this retails for this, and we're giving you for this deal. When I have searched around on other bottles, usually they're on the higher side of what they're going to tell, but I get that. It's marketing. That's fine.
Yeah.
It is usually still a value. It's usually maybe not quite as great as at least what I can find near me when I've looked at. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not really a $30 bottle. It's a $24 bottle, and they're selling it for $17. Still a good deal. Still a value.
Still good.
And the shipping being what it is really makes it enough of value if you can't find those things. But this one was one of the biggest ones that I have seen. That smells quite enticing.
Word of the day. Enticing.
Oh, wait. I don't have that one.
No, we don't do that.
No, we don't have that.
Do we have a drop for that? No, we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
It is similar to me of the one we had on the previous podcast in aroma. Although this one, I get a little chocolate, and which to me makes it harmonious. And even though you have looked up the alcohol and it's higher than the other one, I don't really get a lot of alcohol.
I don't either. It's 14.5.
Yeah, but I do get that there's that licoricey note in there.
A little bit of that.
There is some fruit. But then, like I said, all of a sudden, I didn't realize what it was at first, but then there's just sort of this layer that just kind of ties everything together. I think
it's like a
everything's
little
kind
chocolate
of based,
layer cake, around everything. Yeah, I get some of that. I agree with you on the other things as well. There's also some sort of... I'm trying to think of how to, like I said, with the cherry has a little more pop. There's just a little more of each thing in this one compared to the one we previously had that makes it stand out. Like, ooh, that's good, that's good. There's something that's almost like an iodine-y. There's like something that's like, I'm trying to, like a minerality. There's something else in there that's along with the cherry that's kind of making it, I think, like is almost like supporting it a little bit. But yeah, it smells fantastic. I like the aroma in this one quite a bit.
You
getting a little oak too, you think? Okay. Yeah, it smells great. Can we just taste this now?
Yeah,
okay.
We should.
Let's just
we've waited long enough.
We have.
So I think I'm learning that Malbec, not as full of body as I was thinking.
Yeah.
Except, like I said, I'm still remembering the Alamos.
Let me
fuller body.
Before you let's maybe we'll break this down in each little section. So I want to mention body then too.
Okay.
So on the several sips that I had, it feels like it's going to lead with a good amount of body. Like I was like, as it's initially like I'm taking, this is going to sound ridiculous how much I'm breaking this down, but like as I'm taking the sip, I'm like, oh, I can feel like, oh, this is going to be heavy. And then it gets very light. Like I think there's some viscosity to it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's like weight and like an oiliness. Right. There's something to it like that that's like a nice coating.
Okay.
But it's not, but the body itself, yes, is on the thinner side.
Yes.
Is thin.
Okay.
Go on. All right. What is your next?
You can initiate the next one.
Oh, okay. I'm definitely getting a lot of what I got in the aroma. I'm getting in the glass, like the cherry and the lighter fruit is what I'm getting. A good amount of that. I'm not getting as much chocolate as I got in the nose.
I'm not finding that.
So that's there's a little bit of that in the background. I am still getting some of that. It's almost like a brininess. There's like a little bit of like salt with the cherry, like I said, that minerality that I was talking about, like that iodine. There's something like that in there with the fruit that I like. But yeah, the brightness I think is there even a little more so in the taste. I wish it had some of the darker chocolate that I got in the aroma. You got the oak. I didn't really quite get that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I'm at. I really like it.
It's definitely more balanced. It's more harmonious.
Right.
Those flavors are in there. I wish there was more of the chocolate. I wish I was getting some of the oak in this, but I'm really not, at least
Right.
in the taste. I like the aroma a lot much more than I like the taste,
I would agree.
personally.
Yeah.
It's
I'm happy that a lot of that does carry over, but there was more complexity in the aroma than I'm getting on the palate.
And it's just, I mean, like I said, it is easier to drink, but yeah, it is. It's thin, and it doesn't. It's not that like that stinging dryness that the last one we had was kind of like really
Right.
actively dry.
It was
Yeah.
astringent.
Yeah.
Um,
Whereas this it is dry, and but then that gives way, and then you've got the other things going on. But
I think that's where the oiliness, even though it is a thinner body, there is something there that creates a coating that helps out with that. If this is the epitome of kind of what a Malbec should be, maybe I'm just not a huge Malbec guy.
and I always thought
And maybe
I
that's kind
was.
of
Yeah.
if this is the highest point of this style.
Now remember we had the Malbec. It was probably a year and a half or so ago. You guys came over and watched the movie, and I was and it was one that and it was a Chilean Malbec. And I remember we had it, and that had more body to it, and it went. I think like when we first had our first glass, there was a lot of fruit, and then when it opened up, it got very spicy. And so, and I don't know if you remember that, but
No, but that
that's
sounds
what
delicious. Can we have some of
Yeah,
that?
sure.
Can I have some of
I'll
that?
bring some of that over.
I think this is very good, and this is something easily. If I had opened this and I was doing, like I said, like on a Friday or something, I could see going through it, but I would not want to buy a $50 bottle to do that because I can find something else that has a lot of complexity for that same price.
Right.
So
There's a lot of it's honestly
it all just depends on your budget.
budget and your taste, and whether you agree with either one of us or not. It's interesting discussion. What would you?
I love it.
What would you spend on what type of thing,
Right.
and why? Why? What? I've talked to people who wine, and then I'll be like, oh, are you a beer person? Oh God, no. And they almost look at you like. I didn't say, are you a Budweiser person?
Right.
I said,
But that's probably what they think.
And maybe I'm saying, are you a beer person? Because give me some time, and I could probably get you interested. If you're a red wine drinker, we could find some really cool, complex, interesting beers that you may or may not enjoy, but hopefully you would. But it's like, yeah. And so I've seen that, like I said, both ways. Where it's I remember like Eric Green years ago when we did that podcast.
Yeah.
With him, and even in his notes, what he was going to talk about, it was like. Not very positive about wine.
Yeah.
Because so he's a beer guy. So you have wine. I think it's great to be
I like
dabble
whatever-
in both.
I like whatever tastes is going to taste delicious, and
Right.
I like something. It sounds silly, but I like something that makes me think.
Yeah.
I like a beverage that's not just like, oh, that's this or it's that. It's pretty good. Like I love it. Like when we can have a discussion, and even this, like as we're like think it's good, but just not price worthy. We've had a great discussion about it,
Yeah.
and that's what I love about any kind of beverage, whatever it might be.
Well, that's what I always liked with coffee. You'd be like, oh, I really like this because it has and Denny would say, well, but that's not typical of Guatemalan. You'd say, I don't care. I like it.
I don't care
if
this
I
is
don't
good.
care
Yeah,
if
then,
I don't care.
then
if it's
promote
not,
it as that
yeah,
this
let's-
is different or not your typical
right,
whatever.
not-
Like,
yeah, right.
yeah,
You won't
so.
buy it. You won't believe it.
You can't believe it's not Guatemalan. So what are we saying? We are saying that for sure.
You can always find good beverage discussion at About Beverages.
That is correct.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's what you were going for.
That's 100% what I was going for.
That's what I'm jumping in with.
Yes, that is where you can find all of our videos, content, all that kind of stuff. If you only want the videos, we do have a YouTube channel which you can subscribe to. We very much appreciate it if you take the time to do that. Look at our old content. It is still, for the most part, accurate.
Right.
Including as of just the other day, it was the anniversary of Bell's Two-Hearted Ale. Guess what? We've done some podcasts on that. You should watch those. You should watch those.
Okay.
Before you have a Two-Hearted Ale. But anyway, that is the kind of fun discussion we like to have. Whether you like something that we have had or don't, we want to hear about it. We want to talk about it. Tell us things that we should try. Like, hey, you like that one? You should really try this. That's the kind of discussion that we've always been looking for.
Yep.
And on top of that,
join us tomorrow at Tap and Bottle as we peruse.
exactly,
Okay.
we'll be at Tap and
Are
Bottle.
you joining me?
I was thinking about it.
Okay. All right.
Depends.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Do you know how you can find out if we're going to be at Tap and Bottle tomorrow?
Will you tweet about it?
We could.
We could.
We like Twitter.
could.
Where else do we like to do things on social media?
Well, sometimes we do the Instagram thing,
That's correct.
but mostly we tweet.
Mostly we tweet. And sometimes
You're also going for Facebook.
slightly less Facebook.
But,
But it's
yeah,
there if
yeah.
you're looking for posts about things. But Twitter is always the best place to follow us to find
If you
out
have
when
our
we're
phone
going
numbers,
live.
we'll text you. Wait, no.
Some of you do.
Maybe. That's true. Some of you do.
Some of you do.
Ask us. Hey, where are you guys going? And tomorrow we would say tap and bottle.
Tomorrow we would say tap and bottle.
That's right. As I have a birthday beer, a penny birthday beer that I need to redeem before 45 days have passed. So
It sounds like a poem about to start
before
there.
45 days have passed, I must redeem.
And the nights of yore.
Yeah.
But
Post tense.
as we always say, whether we like it or not,
You should give it a shot.